Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a crazy show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So looks like my man Marcus Morris, he out here stirring the pot. Right now, Marcus Morris, as you guys know, was a former Los Angeles Clipper. He played for a lot of teams, but former Clipper. He was actually one of my favorite Clippers when he was playing for the Clippers. I just liked his attitude, the way that he played, this kind of enforcer mentality. I actually liked Marcus Morris Sr. a lot. Now, as you guys know, the Clippers just came off a pretty impressive win, arguably their most impressive win of the NBA season, by defeating the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. I mean, in LA. It was a very impactful win for them. And after that win, the Clippers have now won, 4 games in a row. They're still the 7th seed in the Western Conference, behind the Golden State Warriors, who were able to win last night, their 2nd game in a row. So the Clippers are really chasing, if I'm being honest with you, the Warriors for that 6th seed, and possibly the Grizzlies for the 5th seed. I don't see them going any higher than the 5th seed, right? So yes, they got that win, but they're still in a mess, so to speak, and they have a very tough schedule to close out the season. Now, Marcus Morris Sr. actually made a lot of news yesterday because he was actually quoted as saying that Anthony Davis was holding back LeBron James, and they covered this on ESPN First Take yesterday, and funny enough, almost everybody agreed with him there. But apparently he didn't stop there. Apparently Marcus Morris then decided to take it a step further and say something that personally just floored me when I heard it, where he essentially said that if Kawhi Leonard is healthy, he believes that the Clippers could beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs, and I damn near fell out of my seat. So what I want to do is I want to play exactly what Marcus Morris Sr. had to say here, and I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
Let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're the number 1 seed in the Western Conference right now. All the talk across sports media right now is like, hey, OKC. Brian Windhorst goes on ESPN and says teams down low and the standings feel like they can knock them off. I'm curious about your thoughts with all the different teams you've played on throughout your NBA career. Is this warranted for teams to feel like they can knock off OKC as young as they are, or not so much, considering how dominant they've been this entire regular season?
To be honest, yeah, I think it's just one of those things where, you don't have that veteran presence. You don't have that background of getting to the championship, right? You have a whole new team that's probably maybe younger than some college teams, so about right there, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just quite frank, you would just be like, man, no, I don't think that they're just ready to win. And if I was a more mature team, a veteran team that's been there, I think, I would take my chances with playing OKC, even though, Shea, MVP, great player, talented, generational guy, love his footwork, love what he's been doing thus far. But if I'm a veteran team, if I'm one of them lower teams that's probably in the play-in,
well, who's best equipped to beat them then?
I like the Clippers, man. I think we talked about that earlier. If they get a draw like OKC with a healthy Kawhi Leonard, I think they got a shot at beating them just because of the experience.
Healthy
right?
Kawhi, though, Marcus. You played with the Clippers for 4 years.
Yeah.
He went out early in 2 of those. He missed the entire season in 1 of them. The only time he was healthy the whole time was the bubble, when there was a whole break. I loved Kawhi. I'm sure you love Kawhi, but healthy Kawhi, I don't know if you can trust that.
Yeah, so, we got to cross our fingers with that one. I'm going to be optimistic and say he will be, right? Mm-hmm. And, he's been working hard. And if he does, that's a big if. But if he does, I think I would take OKC if I'm them, just on the strength of that.
And that would be a first-round series, too. Yeah. So, Kawhi, maybe, you might say he's not healthy for the West Finals, but first round would be a bit different there.
Exactly.
Norm Powell's had an amazing year, was arguably an all-star. Maybe he would have been a replacement if, other guys had sat out an all-star weekend.
Right.
So the Clippers are awesome for sure. But I feel like through this whole process, Windy, that rant by Windy, I know he's reporting what people are saying on these lower-seeded teams, but I also feel like because OKC's so young, they're just getting disrespected. They have the MVP and SGA, who's unstoppable. And with SGA, all anybody ever talks about is like, oh, he grifts fouls, he's baiting fouls. It's like, no, nobody can stay in front of this dude.
True.
He's unbelievable.
True. No, it's very true. But at the same time, he's not your typical superstar, right? He shoots the mid-range, shoots the three. He's not super
at an
athletic.
Elite level.
Very, very
Over
elite.
50%.
I can't lie to like what he's done without like having to be super athletic, right? Having to like even shoot spot up threes, like just the in between game to get into the rim, the different fakes. I love his short step. That's what I call it. It's the Luka Doncic step. If you just take a look at it, he's mastered that to where he's not overstepping. He changed directions quick. His mid range is elite. But who else is proven?
Jalen Williams needs to prove something. Like he fell off last year in the postseason. I'm just saying,
is he proven yet?
He's not yet. He needs to prove it.
That's what I'm saying. So now, you know what SGA is going to get. Like, you know what he's going to do. What's next after that?
It's everything else.
So you heard what Marcus Morris had to say. I don't think the Clippers have a snowball chance in hell in beating the Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs. I don't think they have a single hope. I don't think so. Even with the healthy Kawhi Leonard. I've looked at this Clippers team. Are they a good team in terms of defensively? Have they improved defensively? Yes. Has Norman Powell really taken a step forward this year in his career and really developing into an all-star caliber player? Absolutely. Did James Harden make an all-star team? Absolutely. Did James Harden just have 50 points in a game? Absolutely. Right? Do they have great defenders like Dunn and Nicholas Batum and Kawhi Leonard and all that? They got all of that. Ivica Zubac playing like a monster. Last game he had 28 and 20, right? All of those things are true. But let's stop. The Oklahoma City Thunder are in a totally different tier. They're in a totally different class. They are an explosive offense, number 4 in the NBA, and I believe the number 1 ranked defense in the NBA. SGA is most likely going to be the MVP of the season this year. They have an MVP caliber player. They have a young team that execute at a high level. They play with more energy than the Clippers. They execute better than the Clippers. Coaching, we got to see. I just don't think the Clippers are good enough to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, if they were to shock the world and beat the Thunder, would I be mad? Hell no. But am I being realistic about this? Hell yes. The Clippers don't have no chance against these guys. The only way the Clippers would have a chance against them is, number 1, they would need to limit their mistakes. Number 2, Harden would need to be more reliable in the playoff because Harden do be jacking up some threes and be missing. He would need to really cut down his turnovers because Harden is a great, we all know that, but sometimes he be having turnovers. They would have to be on a string defensively. They would like all throughout the series. And I think Kawhi Leonard would need to go back to 2019 Kawhi Leonard. Is anybody confident in that as a Kawhi Leonard fan? Hell no. Last time we saw Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs, he looked fantastic, and we only saw for 1 or 2 games. No, actually, no. Last year he looked horrible because he was injured. The year prior he looked good. So are you asking me to really believe that Kawhi? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. You got to show me. But if the Clippers would have faced the Oklahoma City Thunder, I think it would be a bloodbath. I would be shocked. I would be stunned if the Clippers beat the OKC Thunder in the playoffs. And I think everybody else would be too. The Thunder? Nah, bro. I don't see that going down. These are just my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.